It's time to talk about the quiet, brilliant conspiracy unfolding on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. For years, we've watched these women, but we've always been watching through the editing. Now something fundamental has shifted. We are witnessing the deconstructed villain arc of Heather Gay, where the production is intentionally pulling back the curtain, allowing us to see the strings of her narrative manipulation in real time. This isn't just about what Heather says. It's about what the editors are letting us see. I am going to show you the forensic evidence, the specific, contradictory flashbacks that prove production is actively exposing Heather's gameplay to the audience. This changes everything you think you know about who the real players are on this franchise. The first undeniable clue, the moment the fourth wall crumbled, is found in a fleeting moment in episode 9. This isn't a confessional or a dramatic group moment. It's a subtle but damning use of archive footage. The primary conflict, Heather's ever-shifting position on her castmates, specifically how she approaches new tensions involving Monica Garcia. We watch Heather in episode 9, speaking about a previous conversation she had with Lisa Barlow about Monica. Heather's version of the conversation is carefully curated, designed to present her as a cautious confidant, a neutral arbiter, perhaps even the hero attempting to protect Monica from Lisa's sharp tongue. But the editors made a choice we have almost never seen before in a Housewives conflict. They cut to a flashback, a small, tight window on the screen, showing us the original conversation with Lisa from episode 2. And the two versions, the one Heather is presenting now and the one that actually aired, are not just slightly different, they are fundamentally inconsistent. In the original clip from episode 2, Heather explicitly suggests that Lisa's concerns about Monica's backstory might be valid, even validating Lisa's suspicions that Monica could be embellishing details about her family life or relationship with her mother. But in episode 9, as she narrates her version of events to the group, she completely sanitizes her own role, presenting herself as someone who staunchly defended Monica and dismissed Lisa's points as baseless negativity. This is the first smoking gun. The production team, the people whose job it is to build and protect the narrative, chose to use their most powerful tool, the flashback, not to reinforce Heather's story, but to directly contradict it. This wasn't a mistake. It was a deliberate choice to let the audience in on a secret. The character we thought we knew, the ultimate bad Mormon, is now being subtly framed as a strategic operator whose manufactured reality is collapsing under the weight of the edit. This is how the deconstructed villain arc begins. Now, let's dive into the dossier. This villain edit breakdown is a point-by-point analysis of how production is signaling Heather's narrative manipulation, starting with the evolution of her alliances. Consider her shift with Lisa Barlow, the infamous bad weather friendship. Season after season, Heather built her protagonist identity around her moral opposition to Lisa, the perfect foil. But as soon as her connection to Jen Shah became a liability, we saw an abrupt and strategically timed pivot toward Lisa. Look at the camera angles during their reconciliation scenes. They are tight, often isolated, almost giving the sense of a clandestine agreement rather than a genuine healing process. Note the background music. It's often muted, almost suspicious, rather than the swelling, feel-good score typically reserved for a true friendship renewal. The production is telling us, visually and orally, that this alliance is transactional, not organic. It's a defensive formation. Next, we must analyze the specific deployment of the book, her memoir, Bad Mormon. Heather repeatedly uses the book as a shield and a sword. It's her proof of redemption and her justification for every calculated move. When she speaks of her own growth, watch the reaction shots of the other women. Specifically, look at a screenshot of Whitney Rose during one of Heather's long-winded monologues about her journey. Whitney's expression is often one of weary skepticism, a subtle eye roll, or a forced smile. This is the editor's language. In past seasons, these moments would be used to build group tension. Here, they are used to comment on Heather's performance. The production is leveraging the other cast members' body language to offer a meta-commentary on the central character. The other women are becoming the audience's proxy, and their skepticism is our instruction. But the most compelling evidence lies in the creation and immediate dismantling of the Monica Garcia arc. Monica, the newcomer, was meant to be Heather's new sidekick, the new underdog, the person Heather could champion to regain her hero status. In the early episodes, we see them together, and the framing is almost entirely positive. However, once Monica begins to display her own volatile, unscripted personality, a factor Heather cannot control. The production immediately starts to show Heather's attempts to control and shape Monica's story. Think about the scene where Heather relays Lisa's comments to Monica, weaponizing the information under the guise of friendship. Look closely at Heather's delivery in that moment. It's too rehearsed, too clinical. The camera holds on her face just a beat too long after the revelation, allowing the audience to process the maneuver, the strategic intent behind the friendly gossip. In previous seasons, this would be edited as explosive drama. Here, it's presented as a calculated step in a grander strategy. And this brings us back to the episode 9 flashback contradiction. The production's move to expose Heather's conflicting accounts is them breaking the fourth wall to validate the audience's suspicion. It's the editorial equivalent of a narrator stepping in and saying, "She is lying." They are no longer hiding the seams of the reality television process. They are showing us how the machine works. They showed us what Heather really said about Monica's story in the past, and then they showed us her current, self-serving, edited version. This is the Deconstructed Villain Arc. We are not just watching a villain. We are watching a player attempt to construct her own hero narrative, while the very mechanism of the show, the edit, is systematically tearing that narrative down. The biggest twist of the season is not who the villain is, but that the production has decided to show us the villain's methodology. They are treating the audience like sophisticated critics, not passive viewers. So, what does this all mean for the rest of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? The payoff is massive. If the production is willing to expose Heather Gay, a foundational OG, by using contradictory flashbacks and strategic reaction shots, it implies that the editing itself has become the central, most powerful character of the show. We are no longer watching an unedited reality. We are watching a highly self-aware piece of television that is commenting on its own process. This dynamic shifts the power from the cast to the creative team, and it signals a new, more sophisticated era for Bravo reality television. The show is now rewarding the deep analysis of its fan base, the very fans on the subreddit who first spotted this inconsistency. The evidence of Heather's actions, the strategic alliances, the use of her book for self-defense, the attempted control over Monica's narrative, is undeniable. The Deconstructed Villain Arc suggests that the biggest drama won't be in the fights, but in watching a TV character, Heather realized that the network's editors have switched teams, leaving her to fend for herself against her own carefully constructed past. The game is no longer about who is right or wrong, it's about who controls the narrative, and for the first time, it seems the production is openly declaring that they are the ultimate narrator, and the audience is now in on the secret. Keep watching those flashbacks. That is where the truth lives.